Hi, this is a distance session with Peg Marshall in our practitioner training, Burlington, Vermont, August 2018.
Okay, so when I do a distance, I do the Earth Star and Sun Star, but I don't do the body points. Some people do the body points. They just hold it in space, basically the weighted fork. So do you either of you do the body points when you do a distance?
Not usually.
No, but so there are some people who do. Okay, so Peg, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with your Earth Star, and we'll go from there. Okay. So your job, Peg, is to just notice what you're feeling, and just report in on whatever sensations are coming up, whatever it is that you are observing, okay? And to also monitor your breath and notice when you're not breathing and make sure that you take breaths, especially if you hear me breathing. So the first few strikes, I'm just listening. So everybody just check in and see what you notice. Can you angle that towards me just a hair? That's good. So I'm noticing heat right away. I'm getting hot. So I'm going to take off a layer.
My feet are tingling already.
Already, good. It says your feet are tingling already. And I'm kind of just picking up a lot of this sort of thing. Feels like Peg's energy is kind of all over the place. And given how many tasks we keep dumping on her in the office, I'm not surprised her energy feels that way.
Quite spinning.
Yeah, lots of that going on. Okay, so now I'm sending energy in the body and envisioning it going up through the central channel. It feels like it's getting a little stuck around the neck, so I'm going to reactivate. Do that again. Good, and that feels like that's going through. And then I'm going to connect to ground. And I'm getting a lot of heat, like I'm breaking a sweat. So, what does that mean when the practitioner gets hot? Sometimes what I found in the groups that I do, when I get hot, people are actually getting cold on the other end. Is your body temperature changing at all, Peg?
No, it's pretty normal.
Okay. And again, I'm feeling like, even as I'm going to ground, that there's kind of like almost a twist somewhere in Peg's energy, that there's something kind of tight and coiled, and even with a few strikes there, I'm not hitting ground yet. So, good. Now here I can feel it. I can feel that energy going down. Good. You got 20 people in here breathing for you. Okay, so now we're going to do the Sun Star. And this feels very heavy down on the top of the head. So I'm going to draw it away a little bit. So I'm at the top of your head, Peg, now. Let me know if your head starts tingling.
No, but it feels a little heavy on the top of my crown chakra. It's a little heavy.
Okay, so she said her crown chakra feels a little heavy. And here, again, you want to sense that connection, like the sound is really going into the head. And I can feel it go. And you can really feel it. Like, it's a very interesting thing that when the sound becomes directional, like, it's very apparent to me, and I think that it becomes more and more apparent as time goes on. Okay, so that's connected. It's flowing all the way down. We're bringing the sun. I'm going to do that one more time. Good. Okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do, Peg, is I'm going to use the pendulum to figure out where we're going to work today. So I am checking your feet, and I'm getting a circle, knees, I'm getting a line. Right knee, I'm getting a big, enthusiastic line. Left knee, I'm getting a circle. All right, root, circle, second, third, big circles, Peg. Fourth, wow. Aside from that right knee, you appear to be doing pretty well, because those are all big circles. So, okay, so right knee. And Peg, how old are you?
57.
57, that's my least favorite number to divide by, but we'll figure that out. Okay, so this needs to go back a hair. Okay, so there's the edge of Peg's field. Anybody have 57? 28 and a half. So this would be about 14. Okay. All right, so Peg, I'm going to start at the outer edge of your field. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All right. Okay, so do you notice anything as I'm connecting to your field?
Just like a little tingly all over my body.
Okay,
Like I
little,
need to go.
okay, so she's a little tingly all over her body. Now I'm getting a pretty intense, kind of very electrified feeling at the edge of her field. And I keep coming back to it and really just feeling just a ton of energy. It's very charged. So this is the kind of place where if I come into the outer edge of the field and it is super something, whether it's chaotic, whether it's really charged like this is, where I'm going to just leap right in to switching out my tools. Okay? Because I know that it'll make a big difference. It's one of those places where you don't dilly-dally, you just jump right into something different. So Peg, what I'm doing is I'm using the crystal in your field at birth. Do you know your birth story?
First child, cesarean section, that's about all I know.
Okay. And how old was your mom?
24.
24, okay. Was it a planned C-section or an emergency C-section?
I think it was probably emergency. She didn't dilate, I think, so yeah.
Okay. So this is definitely the kind of place where, a C-section is usually a birth that is stuck, right? So the baby's stuck, baby's not coming out. And so that energy of being stuck, and then needing to be sort of plucked out will very often create a ton of resistance at the edge of the field. Like, that's a good, and now that using the crystal in it completely changed it. It let go. So that was easy. But that's a person's first experience of life, right? That's very much a right knee kind of experience. It's like, it's time to be born, I'm feeling like it's time to go, but I'm being blocked. I'm being blocked moving forwards. So that's very, very right knee. And then those patterns tend to repeat. We tend to keep having that experience of feeling blocked, feeling stuck. Okay, so Peg, I made it through birth, but now I'm like right around 1 or 2 and I'm stuck again. Do you remember, were you sick or anything then?
No, but we moved when I was 3.
Okay. Let's hear that. So that's maybe 2 to 3. But actually, I can't breathe at all. Okay? So, moving is stressful, certainly for parents, and having a toddler in the mix doesn't help. Was there any kind of crisis before parents moved that led them to move?
Well, I know my dad had an altercation, a physical altercation with a 17-year-old neighbor. Cops were called. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's a kind of a big deal. That'll create some intense energy in the environment for you when you're little. Yeah. And then you moved after that.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I keep coming back to this spot. And again, it's really not changing. Like, it hasn't changed at all. In 4 or 5 strikes, nothing's changing. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to use the crystal in the field again. And what are you noticing now, Peg? Yeah.
Maybe a minute or so.
Yep, and so have we. Everybody in the room is really breathing vigorously as I'm working in here. So, whether it was that particular incident or whether it was, just other stuff going on. If your dad was the kind of character who was going to beat up a 17-year-old, there was probably some other stress and tension going on in your house too when you were little. Was he scary to you?
No, I think he was trying to keep the kid quiet because he was trying to protect me because I was sleeping.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Not exactly sure.
All right. So, good. What I'm doing right now is I'm working directly on your knee, or your hologram of your knee. Have you ever injured your right knee, Peg?
No.
Okay. Have you ever injured like a ankle or like another like your other ankle?
Nope.
Okay. The reason I ask is because I was picking up this sort of interesting instability on the inside of your right knee.
Well, I've got I had, before I started working with you, I had some issues with my right hip, which would make my leg go off balance and put a lot of pressure on my left knee.
Okay.
So,
And then did we fix your hip already?
sorry, go ahead.
Did we already fix your hip? in one of the other sessions we did?
I don't think we worked on it specifically, but I think I got a lot of benefit from all the sessions that were going on last weekend because I felt pretty good since then.
Okay, great. Okay, so all this area under 5 is just super choppy. It's choppy and sticky and, it's definitely, there's a lot going on there. I don't know how much you remember from under 5, but this whole outer part of your field of your right knee is very stuck. Okay, so, go ahead.
When I was 5, and they moved me upstairs in a little kid house, and I was afraid to be up there. I don't know if that's...
Yeah, because I was just going to say, I just hit 5 and like there's this almost like panicky feeling in it.
Yeah, I was definitely afraid to be upstairs. I used to fall down in the middle of the night and sleep on the floor near my mother's bed.
Okay. Right? You guys getting that? That sort of pulsing, sort of fear quality that's going on here? Now, this, do I go get the crystal again, or do I, hang with it? I am feeling it change, though. Where the other ones weren't changing at all, this one it's changing slightly. It's settling down, it's not... And because it had that kind of pulsing quality, that's the sort of thing, you really want to reflect those kinds of tonal inconsistencies back to people. Okay, so we're moving through 5, but what's interesting is that fear that was kind of ricocheting around in your body, that's kind of resonating in your body, it doesn't really go away, which is interesting. Even as I'm moving through 5 into 6, 7, I'm still feeling that insecurity or fear kind of feeling. Was that something that stayed with you, Peg, as you kind of got introduced to new situations and stuff, like going to school or...
Yeah, my mother was an alcoholic throughout all those years, all the school years. And I think she started just before my sister was born. So maybe that was age 3, 4
Okay.
when she started. So that's there was abandonment.
Yeah.
That's what was happening.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, this is very obvious, right? Can you guys hear the fear in this? Yeah. And you hear the ringing quality? Yeah, so that's tension, that's uncertainty, that's discomfort, right? That's all in that ringing quality. Like, what are you noticing in your body right now?
I just have been trying to wipe my brow. Not that I'm sweating, but I feel the need to, I don't know, wipe my brow.
Okay. All right, so now as we get to be about 8, there's the fork wants to drop towards the floor. So that's often, like if I was holding it loosely, it just wants to go boom. And that's usually a sign of depression, sadness, exhaustion, that's another one. Right, and so here she has years of this sustained, fearful energy, and then as we get to be around, I'm going to say 10 or so, okay, 10 or 11, the fork is getting really droopy. So it just feels like maybe sadness or disappointment.
The only thing I can think of is that's when my brother was born. Maybe here's another person to look after.
Yeah. Yeah, because you as the oldest with your mom, if she's drinking, then, you have to be the responsible one, right?
Right, exactly.
So do you hear how now it's gone even more dissonant, right? That same quality of that fear that was ringing out is now becoming even more complex and more, where there's a little bit of an inner critic. There's a little bit of that inner critic growl starting there, where we blame ourselves for not being good enough in some way. And that's right around 14 that I'm starting to hit that. You need to move. Yeah, well, we got half the class is moving for you. So if you need to move, roll, stretch, do whatever. I mean, this is what everything that I've been working through is like the kind of energy that makes things really tightly wound, that makes things, the not breathing piece, tightening in the shoulders, tightening in the diaphragm, clenching kind of deep in the pelvis. So there's just a lot of tension in here, and discomfort, kind of discomfort in your own skin. So, but it's letting go, it's releasing. And so, yeah, roll around, side stretch, do whatever feels like needs to happen. Like it almost says I'm going through you're hit right around 20, and again I can't breathe. My throat feels really tight. My throat feels like it's being squeezed. Probably right around 20. What are you noticing in your body? Yeah, around 20. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that feels like just a really hard time right there. Good, okay, that's letting go, but as it lets go, it gives me a headache right away. Okay, another spot. I'm about 24. And again, now the fork wants to drop down to the floor. I want to drop down to the floor. 25. Just thinking about where you were around that age. Okay, so moves come up a lot for people. Moves, whether it's a good move, a bad move, it's just a big change, and so they will always show up. Yeah, I really can't breathe. I feel like a fish on a dock. I'm like, really already struggling to breathe. Did you ever have any breathing issues? Did you ever have asthma or anything like that?
Not when I was younger. More so after I turned 40.
Okay. After you turned 40. Well, I'm not surprised that you ended up with breathing issues, just because you're such a holding of breath all in through here. I'm right over 27, and it feels like you were barely breathing at all. Yeah, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Yeah, that's such a classic thing of not breathing, right? That what's happening next? The vigilance of the alcoholic, the child who's alcoholic parents. It's a very, very common pattern of vigilance and holding and kind of looking into your environment to determine whether you're safe or not. Okay, so we got past there. Now I'm around 30. Everybody breathe a whole bunch, okay? Because when you breathe a whole new breathe, I can't breathe and talk, but there's no breath. The throat is completely closed up here. The diaphragm's not moving at all. So we've got everybody in here breathing for you, Peg. Okay, so I'm right around 31. Another really sticky spot right here. In fact, I'm going to use the crystal right there. 31, 32. Okay.
My hands are getting fuzzy again.
Your hands are getting tingly again?
Oh, yeah.
There you go, big girl.
I hate that feeling of the other shoe gonna drop. Like,
Yeah, you know that feeling.
I know it.
Yeah. Yeah, the people who resonate with that feeling are breathing well for you. Okay, so that let go. That one spot. But do you hear that consistent tone, like all the way through, that alarm, that fear, that not breathing, that waiting for the other shoe to drop, right? It just becomes a really persistent theme throughout. And that started, in the first 3-4 years of her life, right? So this is really what we see. We see how these tonal qualities come in response to the environment, and how then they just persist. They become themes of our lives.
And there's a responsibility that comes. Like, you gotta be you almost feel responsible for them and keeping them okay, or keeping your environment okay. It just weighs heavy.
It weighs on you.
Yeah.
I feel like it's become like a superpower for me, because it wasn't the second shoe. It was like, when's the other twin gonna hit? For me, but you learn to study the air.
Yeah.
You become really sensitive, so that's how you become really good at this work, because you've studied the air since you were how old?
Yes.
Yeah, superpower. Hey.
Right, so basically what Kimberly is saying, Peg, is that there's a way to alchemize that vigilance into usefulness through becoming a biofield tuning practitioner, because you're so accustomed to sort of studying other people's energy to determine your level of safety or what needs to happen. Whereas if you're a kid who grows up and you're totally safe and you don't have to pay attention to other people, you haven't developed that skill. So you can turn it into something useful for yourself through this work.
Your spidey sense.
Okay, so another spot right there. You guys hear that? How it changes right there? It's like, you all right, Krishna? Yeah, so this feels kind of sad, kind of heavy, kind of almost like a little broken or beaten kind of feeling. Mm-hmm. And then we're around, I'd say your late 30s right now. Low energy, but still that alarmed quality. Does that make you think of anything? Yep. And again, my throat feels really tight coming through here.
I feel like the environment just gave us that motorcycle.
Okay, breath and hit the ancestral river. Right there. And this is very electrified right here. So coming down the ancestral river on your father's side, it just feels like it's charging ahead. It's got a real like man on a mission kind of quality to it. Bless you. And again, this spot's making me really hot. I'm breaking a sweat again.
Yeah, I'm a little chilly.
You're chilly? Okay. Okay, so now there's more of an undertone coming in, more of exhaustion or depression kind of quality.
Grandfather committed suicide.
Okay.
Monica Funk, my dad's family.
Yeah.
So, that's fine.
Yeah, so it's kind of changing, but it's also, there's a lot there. Like what I'm sensing in your dad's river there is just a lot of complexity, a lot of struggle. I don't know, there's just a lot going on. So I'm going to put a crystal in it right now. Yeah, it's pretty, there's a lot going on right here. Yep. Just keep breathing.
And that's where essentially is buzzing incredibly.
Okay. She said her left hand is buzzing. Incredibly. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm just feeling lots of different layers clearing in this as I'm in it with the crystal. I'm getting really hot. A little nauseous. Anybody else getting the nausea? Ariel, are you okay? You need to move around. Wow, I mean, this just keeps clearing and clearing. Like I said, like I could sense when I went into it with the 174 that there were just a lot of layers. So, do you guys understand why we use the crystalline field? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So my understanding of what's happening when I'm using a crystal in the field is that these crystals have a high degree of order. Their molecules are arranged in such a degree that there's an incredibly high degree of order. So when we apply sound current through it, it sends the vibration of the crystal out into the surrounding field. And basically what it does is it gives the information of order, of a high degree of order. And the body uses that order to organize itself. Okay? That's my hypothesis. And I'm not saying that's exactly what's going on, but it definitely brings order. Because now, as I'm coming back to the ancestral river, it feels and sounds clear, and I was able to move right through it. Now we get into this area that I call the mind frame, right? And between the 10-inch zone and the 4-inch zone, you find these reactions to the ancestry and these habits, these visual states of mind. So you got kind of a lump of energy right off the right knee peg. And that just feels like, I think that's a very classic symptom of an adult child of an alcoholic. Of that, I'm not at liberty to follow my natural inclinations because I'm having to be vigilant. So, so if the parent isn't there, that tends to get replaced with another character, somebody, a mate, a boss will come and fill that role for you again, or in the absence of that, we'll sabotage ourselves. So the concept of self-sabotage is often this construct in the right knee that just keeps causing us to feel like we're being blocked over and over again from our natural inclinations. So where do you see that show up, Peg? Does that make sense to you, that construct I just described?
My son's dad was very, I don't want to say needy, but
Breathe. Good, that's it. So Peg was saying that her ex-husband, right, your son's father, was very needy. So she ended up needing to minister to him, take care of him, probably a couple lot more than you wanted to, Peg.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
But here's the thing for you as the oldest child, right? That is a familiar feeling. Like, here's somebody, right, who should be taking care of themselves. Same with your mom. I mean, if she's hungover, she wasn't making breakfast or that sort of thing sometimes. So it's familiar. So, we very often repeat these familiar patterns with these similar characters. It's very, very normal. And even if the person didn't start off that way, they can become that way. Because it fits into your field pattern. All right, what are you noticing now, Peg? I'm dropping in.
My hand is buzzing and I feel underneath the breeze.
Okay. So she said her hand is buzzing and she's feeling a lot of need to breathe.
My wrist is raw, all tight.
What's happening?
Sure.
Your lips and jaw. Okay. So I'm trying to drop in, but I'm really stuck right on the edge of the knee. I probably shouldn't be leaning on her. I just had my fist in your solar plexus. Maybe that's why you couldn't breathe. I think that's in. No, so I'm really stuck on this outer edge. So I'm just going to come in with a crystal and see if I can let that release. Hey, we're going to repeat after me and see how this sounds, okay? Are you ready?
Yeah.
I am free to follow my natural inclinations.
I am free to follow my natural inclination. Free now.
Okay, so we all knew that didn't sound true. Try it again, one more time. Or, I would like to be free to follow my natural inclinations. Try that one.
I would like to be free to follow my natural inclination.
Okay, that didn't even sound quite true.
Oh, it is okay for me to follow.
I give myself permission.
All right, let's try this one. I give myself permission to follow my natural inclinations.
I give myself permission to follow my natural inclination. That's a little better.
That was the best one so far. Okay. Yeah, now look at all of this subconscious blocking you have around that. Isn't that interesting? First, we have to believe it is possible. All right. So what was that one that just worked? Say it again.
I shouldn't say give myself.
I give myself permission to follow my own natural inclination.
That one sounded a lot better. All right, good. Let's see if that is enough to dislodge this sticky spot. Oh. There we go. So, when there's a resistance to that freedom, then we're going to get stuck in this drop-in, right? Because when we come to this place of like the right knee being in a balanced place, it's very much like, life is a dance, right? And I'm just kind of flowing along in the dance of life. But if somebody has a thing stuck on them here, right? A belief, a story, a habit, a familiar thing, they're not going to. Things will come up, whether they're external, whether they're internal, that's going to block our ability to do that. And so, it's almost like she had a little barnacle stuck on the side of her knee, that was like running a program about not being at liberty, not being free to follow her natural inclinations. And it's gone now. We got rid of the barnacle. So now I'm mixing paint. Good, and what are you noticing in your neck now, or your throat, or your mouth?
My throat feels better, and my mouth and my lips feel not loose.
Great. So she said her...
My hands are like crazy. I can't wait to get outside and put my ground.
She says her hands are buzzing like crazy, and she can't wait to get outside and put them on the ground. Okay, I'm columning now. And it feels very buzzy. It feels very electric. It feels like there's a lot more energy running through here than you're used to. It feels very happy. It's got a very kind of trumpet yellow, like, look out, here comes Peg quality to it. It's sort of much more fiery and bold than it. So this is a very interesting transformation because, so I just finished calling Peg, but I want to share an observation that I made, is that, starting from a very early age, really even from birth, because you had the C-section, emergency C-section, and then, all of this sort of ringing fear and alarm in your system, really like going through your whole life, like that was there. And so what happened is that fire of alarm really just alchemized into much more like fieriness of purpose, or like a healthy fire, not like it's stuck in fear and reactivity and I can't do what I want to do and that sort of thing. But then it's just become very sort of laser-like and focused and fiery. So it really, really just transformed pretty dramatically from one, unbalanced, sort of unhealthy, reactive expression into a much more coherent, clear, and focused expression. Right? Did everybody get that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good. Okay, what are you noticing about how you feel right now?
Well, I keep coming back to the saying, and I think it was Marianne Williamson that said it, something like we're afraid to be, what are we afraid of? We're afraid to be who we really are.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm discovering who I really am, and I'm starting to find my authentic voice. So,
Yeah. Absolutely, and that quote is really true. I mean, I see that over and over again. It's not our darkness that we fear. It's the fact that we're fucking awesome, that we all have a hard time owning and embracing. Because especially, kids who were really bright were often shamed, right? Like tone it down, or other kids would get jealous of you if you get A's, or any number of things. That there's a tendency for us all to pull in our light and to get much smaller than we really are. So, okay, I'm going to come back through your field again with the 528. Yeah, it even, he picks it up on that level too, that wee kind of quality. So when I use the 528 and I come in towards the body with it, I find that the 174 is pretty happy to plow or to go up and down a little bit. The 528 likes to dance in. And so I roll it between my fingers, call this twiddling. And that's a diminished tone on the 528. Closed tone. That's right around that 3, 4, 5, all in here. Tense. Diminished 528 is definitely tension. So what are we doing? We're going through with a finer tooth comb. We're interacting with the same information, but on a different level because we're using a different frequency. So we're picking up finer bits. We're loosening finer pockets of congestion and tension. And then once it clears, you move on. You just keep moving through until you feel yourself get stuck again. There. Keep breathing, Peg. And you can saw with the 528 as well, like you do with the weighted fork. There. And usually you can cut through whatever sticky stuff you encounter just with the fork alone. If you ever feel like you need a crystal, you can try that. It's not as easy to use the unweighted forks with the crystal just because of the puck having to be in the equation. Yeah. Right? Peg, what are you noticing as I'm using the 528? I'm noticing my lips want to do weird things. Okay.
Feeling fuzzy between my hips and my ankles.
Feeling fuzzy?
Fuzzy between my hips.
Oh, buzzy. Okay. A buzzy between your hips and your ankles. Got it. So I'm going through late teens at the moment, maybe around 20. Very diminished in here, very tight. We're getting hot again. Yeah. And I'm hitting this hard. Are you guys noticing how hard I'm hitting it? Because if you're working with the 528 and you're in a place where the tone is diminished, you have to hit it hard to get get sound out of it. And it's that, that really breaks things up. So don't be afraid to really wail on this fork and get it to be really loud and bright. Good, okay, so we just move through a whole bunch of stuff there in the middle. Okay, another spot right here. It's amazing, isn't it, how much it changes in these and you can tell I'm hitting the puck consistently, right? I keep hitting it the same way. So okay, we're about to hit the ancestral river again. There. Whoa, that's just piercing right through myself. Getting that tightness in the throat again here. Okay, take some really big breaths, Peg. This is the ancestral river on your dad's side. It's really heavy. It really is. And it's really needy. Good. That's better. Okay, so we moved through there, and now we're back in the mind frame zone for that visual, not free to really be yourself, to express your light, your fire, your truth. Coming back into, I want you to repeat that affirmation for me again as we're going through here again.
Allow myself to follow my natural inclination.
What was it?
I give myself permission.
That's what it was. I give myself permission.
She's allowing herself now.
She said I
Allow
allow
yourself.
She allowed it.
Ah, woo! Okay.
Yeah.
She did say that.
All right, good. Good. And that just switched. So what you got was there when you said that, you got the whole room completely agreeing with you and being behind you and seeing that as truth. So it switched very quickly, actually. And then you can just call them out really easily with that too. So, do you feel how the energy in here is all completely different?
It feels
Light,
light and
expansive,
movement. Yeah.
Exactly. There's a tremendous amount of movement here where there was not movement before. And you can almost feel it. Like I can feel the ionization of the space. Okay, Penny, what are you noticing now?
My whole body's buzzing.
Her whole body's buzzing. Good. Check your knee. Oh, look at that. Woo! Peg's about to take off like a helicopter. All right, it does not feel like it's necessary for me to work on your other knee. So I am going to go ahead and wrap you up. Then you can go take your buzzing body and bring it outside. Try to ground out some.
Whatever you want to do, Peg. Follow your inclination.
That's right. You can do whatever you feel like doing.
Do it.
Yeah, you can go get a creamy if you want.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to wrap you up. All right, my dear. So any last thoughts or observations?
No? Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. What's that? Hey? Woo! You're still on speakerphone. Okay. So when we'll check in with you on Monday, and when we send the email out to the class, we'll give them your update just about what you noticed post-session. Sound good? All right. All right. Talk to you soon. Thanks again. Take care. Drink water. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.